I'm gonna message you right now. Sorry, I'm her right now.
You excited?
I'm gonna take pills and drink before.
Johnny Somali doesn't seem to know when to stop. He just admitted to committing yet another crime in South Korea, one that might surpass everything he's done so far. There's a lot to unpack here, and it doesn't stop with him. Ice Poseidon, after a marathon 65-day stream, finally had to shut it down. Why? Because he openly confessed to making money in Japan while on a tourist visa. That's bound to cause some serious problems down the line. But let's get back to Johnny Somali. In this first clip, he's discussing a deep fake issue. As you might know, this marks his 5th charge, and it's incredibly serious. Now he's even claiming he could press charges against the victim of the crime. It's wild. We all know your game, Somali. You play the tough guy, get yourself into trouble, then run straight to the cops when the heat's on. It's the same tired pattern every time. Everyone sees you for what you are, a snitch, through and through. Now he's trying to claim that because she reacted to the crime, she's somehow complicit? Ridiculous. I'm going to prove it right here, showing clearly that he was the one who shared this material first. Of course, out of respect for the victim, I'll blur it out. See for yourself. Moving on, the next clip features Johnny Somali hopping on the slander legal mindset bandwagon. Ice Poseidon started that yesterday, and honestly, I hope legal mindset goes after both of them. Hard. In the US, that kind of legal action has been pretty straightforward. Let's hope these two get what's coming to them. I'm not sure how easy it would be to pull off in Korea, but Ice Poseidon is heading there in a few days. Seems like a prime opportunity. In the meantime, check out this clip. I'll be tagging legal mindset in this video because the defamation here is off the charts. Accusing someone of complicity in trafficking underage girls is absolutely outrageous. Making such a claim without evidence while knowing it's false? That's beyond the pale. I truly hope he faces serious legal consequences for this, as well as Ice Poseidon. But let's move on to the next clip. Now, just to clarify for anyone lost, he's referring to Party supposedly offering him $10,000, at least that's what he's claiming, to stream on the platform. Frankly, I find that pretty ridiculous. He's got no leverage to back that up. He's got nowhere else to turn. When you're in demand and have multiple offers on the table, you can name your price. But this guy? He's got nothing to bargain with. Honestly, he'd be lucky to get anything at all from Party, let alone demand money. But we'll see how it plays out. Now let's move on. In this next clip, Johnny Somali openly admits to yet another crime, this time involving narcotics. Keep in mind, narcotics are absolutely forbidden in South Korea. The country is known for having some of the toughest drug laws in the world. Watch this. He doesn't have any other options, so trying to demand a high payout is pointless. In his situation, he should consider himself fortunate if he gets anything at all from Party. But hey, we'll see how it all shakes out. Now let's turn to the next clip. This is where Johnny Somali admits to a new offense, drug use. And remember, South Korea enforces some of the strictest drug laws globally. Narcotics are completely outlawed, and they don't take violations lightly. Check out the clip for yourself. He's out of options. If you're popular, you can demand high payouts. But in this case, he's got no leverage. Honestly, he should be glad to get anything at all. Let's see how that pans out. Now, in this next clip, Johnny Somali makes another shocking confession. He's been using narcotics. This is a huge deal in South Korea, where the laws on drugs are some of the strictest in the world. Take a look at this. He's out of places to turn and clearly doesn't have the clout to demand a big payday. If anything, he should count himself lucky to get anything at all from Party. As things stand, he's in no position to bargain, so let's see how it all unfolds. Now, let's dig into the next clip. This is where Johnny Somali drops another bombshell. He openly admits to using narcotics. South Korea, as you probably know, is one of the strictest countries in the world when it comes to drug enforcement. They have zero tolerance, and even the smallest offenses are met with harsh penalties. This confession isn't just reckless, it's self-destructive. Given the country's harsh stance on drugs, he's likely facing serious consequences. Take a look at the clip and see for yourself how this all came to light. In South Korea, being caught with narcotics or psychotropic drugs is no joke. The penalties under the Narcotics Control Act are harsh, up to 10 years in prison and a fine of 100 million won. He doesn't even have a legitimate prescription. If they decide to test him, he's in serious trouble. To make matters worse, he's been outright disrespectful toward the judges, which certainly won't work in his favor. Now he's escalating his behavior by spewing racist remarks, including using the N-word and mocking the Korean language. This is particularly baffling because he had an interpreter the whole time. He could have simply asked what the judge was saying. Instead, he chose to spout nonsense, making himself look even worse. The next clip captures him outside the courtroom being interviewed by a Korean journalist. In a baffling move, he goes on to praise North Korea. That, in and of itself, is another crime in South Korea. In South Korea, the penalties for possession or use of narcotics or psychotropic drugs are no laughing matter. Under the Narcotics Control Act, offenders can face up to 10 years in prison and a hefty fine of 100 million won. What's more, this guy has no legitimate prescription. If authorities decide to test him, his situation could go from bad to worse in a heartbeat. And to top it all off, he's not exactly endearing himself to the judges. Instead of showing even a shred of respect, he's taunting them. He's hurling slurs, doing a racist mockery of Korean, and making no effort to understand the proceedings, even though he had an interpreter right there. Rather than simply asking for clarification, he's doubling down on his disrespectful antics, which only hurts his case even further. As if that weren't enough, the next clip features him outside the courtroom, where he's being interviewed by a Korean journalist. What does he do? He praises North Korea. That alone is a major red flag in South Korea's legal landscape. Each of these missteps only adds more weight to the mounting legal troubles he's facing. Even with the mountain of evidence against him, Johnny Somali seems convinced he won't spend a single day behind bars. Check this out. And don't leave yet. We still have Ice Poseidon's situation to dive into. He finally shut down his stream after being told not to broadcast from his hotel room. Plus, he confessed to earning millions in Japan, which is illegal since he's on a tourist visa. We'll dig into that next. Those are the latest updates on Johnny Somali for now, but if more news surfaces, I'll definitely make another video. There are also plenty of other topics I've been holding on to until this Johnny Somali saga winds down. Stay tuned, there's much more to come. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. Despite the growing stack of evidence, Johnny Somali seems utterly convinced he won't see a single day in jail. Just watch what he has to say about it. Now, before we get to Ice Poseidon, let's wrap up on Johnny Somali. If any new developments pop up, I'll cover them in another video. And there's no shortage of material. I've got a lineup of topics I've been holding back until this Johnny Somali drama cools down. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for what's next. For now, let's take a closer look at Ice Poseidon hitting rock bottom. At this point, he's openly admitted to earning significant income while in Japan on a tourist visa. It's hard to say how this will pan out, but it's not looking good. Other countries might see this as a red flag. They could decide that someone who lied about their intentions in Japan, earned a lot of money under the radar, and dodged paying taxes isn't welcome on their soil. That's a very real possibility. And really, if you hate Japan so much, why did you stay there for 65 days? The hypocrisy is staggering. Ice Poseidon's actions are a masterclass in self-inflicted damage. He thinks moving to Korea will be better? It won't. In fact, it's almost guaranteed to be 10 times worse. Right now, Ice Poseidon has openly admitted to making serious money in Japan while only holding a tourist visa. It's hard to imagine this ending well for him. Other countries could look at his actions, his deception about his intentions, his unreported earnings, and his avoidance of taxes, and decide not to let him in. That kind of track record doesn't exactly inspire confidence among immigration officials. And what's even more baffling is the way he stayed in Japan for 65 days while seemingly despising the place. If you hated it so much, why stick around? Now he's acting like moving to Korea will be some sort of solution. In reality, the situation there might be even tougher. It's a complete mess, and it's hard to see how he'll navigate his way out of it. If that weren't bad enough, he's also going to face constant harassment from Korean YouTubers looking to make a name for themselves. They'll see him as the perfect target, an annoying streamer they can physically confront just to notch another victory on their belts. It's safe to say his time in Korea won't be a walk in the park. That's everything for today's update. I know this one ran a bit long, but I wanted to make sure you had all the information in one place before we move on. There's another video I've been sitting on that's completely wild, and I can't wait to share it. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. It's going to be a big one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.